And I don't know if the word got to you or not that he did pass away.
Oh, no, I did not know that.
He fell down the stairs and broke his neck.
Oh, wow.
Margie, I didn't send a message out because I really didn't know how to word that.
That's
to
okay.
everyone. So I've told a few people that I've been around,
Yeah.
Jim and Annie, and when we were out, we talked about that, but I didn't know really how to word that email.
That's no
So-
problem. That's the reason I brought it up
Yeah,
tonight,
thank
because
you.
there's a few of you here that do remember Fred, and he was our member last year too, but he had been with the club for years and years and years and years.
Yeah.
But it was a shock to everybody. Elaine said that she was vacuuming downstairs, and next thing she knew, Fred, stumbled downstairs and broke his neck, and instant death. So it was just a shock to all of us. But
Yeah.
I wanted to let y'all know.
Oh, I'm thinking about Ray, his son. Did he
He's
have
with
any
the-
other children?
No, just Ray, and he's with
Oh.
Elaine right now.
Yeah.
Elaine's taking it really well. Of course she would, taking it really hard, because it wasn't even an illness; it was an accident, and that's what makes it even worse. So, that's all I have to say about that, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else have anything they want to bring up?
Brian, I want to thank you for telling us to go get our cameras cleaned, because I went out there and got mine cleaned and ended up buying another camera.
he did that to me too, Linda.
I just bought a bridge camera because I know eventually I'm not going to be able to carry around everything that I have. But I thought of you when I paid for it. Just want you to know.
Okay, well, hey,
Yeah.
you're welcome.
He
Getting
took,
commissions on these, Brian.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm going to talk to Robbie out there about some commission work here.
yeah.
Oh,
Robbie's having a cash for cameras event
He is.
the second
Yes.
weekend, third weekend in July. So you take your old stuff, you give you good money for it, and you buy new stuff.
Yep.
But then you have to give up the old stuff.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm sure you can make some arrangements.
I might have a few extras.
I saw that on Facebook.
Yeah, I got an email. I'm on her email list. I did get an email about that.
well, we need to go back there again without my credit card.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
always leave my wallet at home for that.
yep.
Always.
Okay, DL, you, Brian, me, and whoever else wants to join us. Brian will be driving, of course. I have room for, what, 5? So,
Okay.
I'll have to let my bank know I'm going to be out in Ohio again.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
a-
I didn't get out of there cheap last time. Thank you very much, Brian. Had no intentions of buying a camera. Linda.
There's a
Melissa and I, yeah.
There's a wonderful eagle's nest about maybe 10 miles from there.
Oh,
And
okay.
they're just getting ready to fledge, so they're big and they're like right out in the open. So every time I go up, I have to stop at the eagle's nest.
All right. Well, congratulations on your new camera there, Linda.
yeah, what was
Okay.
it? What did you buy?
It's a what is it? I think it's a P950, something like that. It's a bridge camera. It's a Nikon.
Ah,
Okay.
uh-huh.
I've used it a few times already. I like it. I'm going.
Yeah, Nikon is the password for the Zoom session.
That's right.
You got to say Nikon or Canon if you can't remember it.
Yeah.
Pentax.
Pentax. Yeah, I heard that. A K3, I think, right? K3.
Yeah. For now, anyway.
Yeah. No, I was reading the metadata on your photograph that we were working on. I went down through it to see all of the goodies in there, the exposure data.
And I didn't use a lens baby for that either.
Yeah, I was wondering how that would get into the metadata anyway.
It comes in as M42 or no lens.
Oh, okay.
That's how it'll show up.
Mhm.
All right. Jim, you got some stuff for us tonight?
I have to apologize. At about 6:55 this evening, I had just wrapped up some painting and I was cleaning my hands and I thought, oh crap. I am unprepared for that session. I apologize.
That's
You
not a
had
problem.
15 minutes,
No, I had 5 minutes.
but that should have been enough.
And the
Well-
5 included me getting a package of peanut butter crackers and my iced tea to drink here for dinner.
I edited my picture and posted it on Reddit in about 6 minutes, so you should have been good.
Yeah, really. You're
Well,
lacking,
hey,
you're
well,
lacking.
seriously, I do have a subject matter, but I'm ignorant on it. Maybe one of you are and can mention this to the rest of the group. I saw a YouTube video the other day that referenced new features in Lightroom. And I believe the terminology they used was there was adaptive sky. And I think the other was it adaptive subject matter or something to that extent? Are any of you familiar with that?
No,
Okay.
not yet. No.
It's an artificial intelligence based feature and it's a preset. And the video that I saw, the guy had a sunset photo of some sort or another. And he selected the sky and then selected this adaptive sky preset. And the sky just blossomed, if you will. It was pretty cool looking. And then I think the other one, boy, don't hold me to this. For some reason, I think it's like adaptive subject matter of some sort. So it would identify the main focal point of your photo and then apply a particular preset to it.
You're not talking about Photoshop, right?
I thought he was talking about Lightroom.
Is there something in Lightroom that will do that?
Well, I think it's
No.
fairly
Well,
new, like
I
maybe
opened-
this week new.
I say I
Uh-huh.
opened Lightroom today and it came up and told me that there was a newer version of it. So I haven't updated it yet. I'll have to update it and see what it says.
It's under presets. And I believe
Okay.
the terminology is, boy, I hope this had this right, adaptive sky and adaptive something else.
Yeah, because I know
Oh.
it's not in the version that I
Yeah.
have.
It's there. I'm looking at it now.
So what are they called, Rex, then?
Under presets, below users, if you put stuff in, which I did, then if you go below portraits, deep skin, medium skin, light skin, black and white, edgy group, and the next one down is adaptive sky, and it has a delta, which means that there's more in it, and then it has blue drama, dark drama, neon tropics, storm clouds, sunrise, and sunset. Oh, and that's sky. And then there's adaptive subject, and that is pop, warm pop, soft, cool, soft, vibrant, and glow. I didn't even know it was there. You saw, anybody looked at the clouds that I put in the Palooza picture, I just went into Photoshop and I used what's called sky replacement. So up in the toolbar there's a selection for that,
Right.
which is what I used, but I will be trying this. I did not know that was there.
All
So
right.
that's in the
It's-
news for this month.
It is not in my version of it, so I'm going to have to update to find it
Okay,
at this point.
and let me give you the version number. Is 11.4. And
Okay,
includes
yeah.
11.4 and the camera raw release with it is 14.4.
Okay, I'm 11.3 and 14.3, so I'm the version behind that.
Right.
I'll have to do an update. Well, Jim, thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah.
I haven't really looked at anything because I didn't anticipate that. So, all right. Anybody shooting fireworks this weekend?
No.
I don't know.
Probably.
Okay.
Scottsdale isn't doing them until September for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh, that makes perfectly good sense to shoot the 4th of July fireworks off in September.
It's Scottsdale.
My street always has fireworks. They've already started, actually.
All right. Well, I guess at this point, we can turn the meeting over to Beth if she's ready.
I think I am.
Okay. I will step away just for a few minutes. I have to run around and lock all the doors in the building. So, but once you get started there, Beth, I'll step away and I'll be right back, guys.
Okay. I think what I'm going to do first is do my tips and tricks thing, which is actually, it's going to be totally different than any other tips and tricks thing that we've done so far. Because I think we'll still have enough time to do all the Edit-Palooza ones that have come in. But I'm going to show you what doing Mordancage is like. If I can share my screen and get everything actually going right. All right, let's see if this works. Does everybody see a black screen with a player thing?
Yep.
All right. And this is the wrong one. Never mind. Hold on. Why did that one pop up? That wasn't the one that was on there. All right, I will try again. You're gonna see my entire desktop, which is a complete disaster as always. As I go through the Finder and try to find.
You know,
wherever-
they make an app for Apple that you can download. There's a little button you click on the up in the toolbar, and it clears your desktop completely off to where there's nothing on it but the one screen.
Yeah, and then I'd never find anything again.
Well, no, you just click on it again and it puts it all back exactly where it was.
Oh,
So when you're presenting, people don't see how bad your desktop looks.
yeah, but you guys know me. All right. That's the right one.
All right, guys, I'll be back in just a minute.
Hi, this is Beth. I am on my side porch because this stuff really smells. Well, stinks technically. This is called Mordancage. The chemical bath here, that's a nice pretty blue, has cupric chloride, hydrogen peroxide, and acetic acid in it, as well as water. There's around, I don't know, probably about 850 milliliters of water to everything else. So it's diluted, but still. And what it will do, hopefully, is it will raise the emulsion where it's blackest. So I'm putting a print in that it's actually a test strip print. So this part of it got less exposure and this got more, because this is something that I haven't tried to do before. I was having trouble getting something with enough density. Mordancage only works on areas that are completely developed, so really black. And I don't know whether this print is even going to have any spots. But basically, you put the print in the Mordancage for 2 to 3 minutes, it will start raising some bubbles, and I can see some bubbles on the edges of the paper. So I know that the chemical bath is at least working right. It's also going to fade the print down, and you let it sit just enough so that it starts to raise it, and then it gets washed a bunch of times. The key to the whole process basically is wash it, and wash it some more. Because otherwise you get staining and stuff doesn't always work and things like that. And it's something that requires a lot of patience, which I admit I do not always have. But the end results can be really, really cool. So this is looking like it's fading down well and making some decent bubbles. And I think I see some bubbles on the actual image section too. So I'm going to pop this over in some water. And yes, I am using gloves instead of tongs for this, because I can refresh the gloves a lot easier so that I don't end up contaminating things, whereas tongs are tougher to wash. You make sure, yeah, it kind of shows. And I apologize for any bird noises and everything else, but I'm on my side porch. I don't have a fume hood in my darkroom, unfortunately. So then this print is going to get washed in here, and this is just plain water, for at least 4 changes of water and about 5 minutes for each bath. And then it's going to go downstairs and get put into some developer to bring the print back up, if I've managed to get some of it to lift. I'm also going to see whether some of it lifts by using this, because sometimes this can work. And it depends on what your end result is that you want, because if you use a brush, you'll completely remove the emulsion in those areas. There is a way that you can leave veils and just have like little filmy things of the emulsion that you then get to stick down in other areas of the print. And that's what I'm going to try with that one. But this is really a test just to see if I can get it dark enough or not. I'm really not seeing anything lifting yet. But I'm going to keep washing this and see if I can make it work. And I will pick this up later. Okay, this is a print of a feather. It's got some really good dark areas in it. So I think that this will probably lift okay, I hope. This is one of those processes that if it works right, it's really cool. But it doesn't always work right. And there are times when it kind of feels like, well, it needs to be with a full moon on a Thursday in a month that doesn't end in X or something like that. And I don't know if you can see it on the video, but the feather is starting to fade down really well, better than the other one did. And the test print one sort of had the beginnings of spots that were working, but there weren't any big areas that were black that were really going to lift completely. So for that one, I think someday I'll try doing a longer exposure than any of the ones that were on that sheet, and I'll see if I can do it, because I think it will work. It was tough to get enough contrast. And I can see bubbles. Start doing the water baths. Keep my fingers crossed. And I'm one of those people that when I print in the darkroom, I put everything face down so that I know that it's all getting good contact with the chemicals. For this, you have to keep everything face up so that you can see what's going on. And apparently so that you can see the dog hairs that managed to fall into the water bath. I don't know how well this is going to show up. Maybe, yeah, I can kind of see it on the phone, so maybe it'll show up. Some of the areas on this are really turning into little bubbles, and you can sort of tell that what's happening is the emulsion is starting to lift off in those spots. Now, when I just had the original print, I really thought that this area up here was solidly black and was just going to lift off and make a really nice veil. But that seems to be about the last spot that's even getting little bubbles in it. So it wasn't really as dark as I thought it was. So I'm still hoping that I'll get some veils, but I'm not really sure, because bigger areas that lift off together give you a better veil than just smaller areas that lift in tiny pieces. But I'll see what this looks like when I'm done. Okay, so now the really experimental part. You can see that there are areas that lifted. Maybe you can see that. I hope it shows in the video. And now I'm going to add a developer to redevelop and maybe get some weird colors. Maybe, I don't know what. We'll see. This developer happens to be Film Developer. It's Sprint, and as you can tell from the color, if you know about developers, it's a little old. In fact, it's possible that I bought this bottle at Newtonville Camera up in Mass. It's not really doing an awful lot. I don't think I'm going to get any really cool colors out of it. With some types of paper, you can get a red with Sprint Developer. But I don't believe that Ilford paper is one of them, and this is Ilford.
But you can see the emulsion moving around in the stem of the feather, which is kind of cool to watch.
So I wanted to show a little bit on this one about the veils. You can see spots like right here and here where there's still a little bit of the emulsion hanging on, and those are the veils. So if I handle this just right, I can pick up the print and they'll sort of stick down, kind of. There we go. And they look kind of cool like that. So if I were to let it dry and then wash it again, because washing is the key for all of this, then those might just stay right like that. I'm not sure if that's what I'm going to do in the end, but that's definitely a possibility. But my original intent with this one is to get all of the branches as cleared off as I can. But I kind of like the idea of leaving a little bit of a veil on the trunk. So I'm almost done washing this one. You can see it's in the water. I still have the veils on the trunk, kinda. I have to be really careful to not touch that area at all, because if I do, I'll probably knock those loose. But I think right now they look really cool. And the upper branches, how they've turned white with the just the edges showing, is exactly what I was going for. So I think mostly this one works. I just have to manage to finish washing it without destroying it. which is not always easy.
So then these are all the results. That's how that one started out. And that's what I was able to get after doing everything. That's close up of that one. It does need a little bit of spotting, but, and this is an old one that I did a while back. That's also one I did a while ago. I think I did that one in the class that I took. And that one really shows the veils. And that I was trying to get the areas to clear a little bit better. And that one I almost completely got rid of the veils. There's just a little bit hanging on the sides of stuff. So that's Mordancage.
Pretty cool, Beth.
Thanks.
I love the tree.
It's not something that many people do, but it's fun. It's lots of chemistry and just patience and playing with it for a while, but I like doing it, so it's fun.
Can you tell us more about the print?
They're all darkroom prints. It only works on silver gelatin prints. And those are all on fiber paper, mostly because it's more archival than resin coated. So the prints were all made in the darkroom by me, and just the usual normal way that I would make them in the darkroom. So I do tend to leave a little bit more room on the edges so that if I get a veil that kind of flows out of the frame, there's room for it. But other than that, I print for Mordancage the same that I would print for anything else.
So it actually has to be a print that you develop yourself.
Or at least a silver gelatin print.
Okay,
There
Where
are a
do you
few
do-
labs that'll do those for you.
okay.
I don't know whether a lambda print will work or not. Those are done by using lasers to expose silver gelatin paper, but I don't know how different they are. And they're also a lot more expensive than just straight darkroom stuff.
Okay.
I have a totally side question to ask. I was looking at how you ran the video.
Yeah.
And
Unprofessionally.
oh, no, I was
No, it
going
was
to say, I
good.
like the way you had set up the camera. I have
Mhm.
some questions, like in the editing, what kind of editing is it that allows you to stop and then go to the next thing and have that refocusing that goes on just between one set of frames and the next set of frames? That's one. And the other one, well, first of all, what type of camera is it? And was it the microphone on the camera?
I
Yeah.
used my phone, which
Your
is
phone.
an iPhone 11, I think,
No. Yeah.
to film all of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I used iMovie to do all of the editing. And there's transitions that you can drag in iMovie in between everything. And that's, I just used the same one, I think, for most of them.
Okay. So,
I was even able to cut out sections because I did videos that were like, I don't know, some of them were 6 or 7 minutes long. And then I cut out parts of them and stuff like that.
yeah.
Like the part where the dog was barking and things like that.
Yeah. So the software is iMovie, and the way you made the transition is with transitions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fading and transition.
Yeah, basically. It was all in iMovie.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
all Apple.
Yeah. I have this Pro Show Gold from years ago, had similar transitions in it. Yeah. Okay, now I get the picture for real. Plus, it was interesting seeing the handling of the chemistries. I haven't seen trays in a long time, and keeping it all together. That was a wonderful job you did. Thanks.
I enjoyed it too.
That photo behind you, that was done the same way?
Yep.
Because I've been interpreting that many different ways last couple of weeks.
It's, if I get out of the way, you can see the whole, well, most of it anyway. It's a picture of 3 calla lilies that it started off with just a black background, solidly black background. I don't think I have one hanging around that I can grab quickly to show you what it started off as, but doing Mordancage, I took most of the background off and just left like the little pieces that you can see in the picture, left them dangling and got them to stick down.
What is around the outside of it that looks like cotton puffs or snow or something?
It's basically, there's a couple layers of emulsion on paper, and the lower one is more, I kind of want to call it powdery, but when you lift the veils off, it's still gray underneath, but the more that you wash, the more that comes off. I think with this one, I didn't do anything to make it come off. You can get it all the way down to being just white, but I left a little bit on this one. The one of the iris where it looks like there's brush marks, they actually are brush marks. So some of it is still, some of that lower layer of emulsion is still there, and it's just scraped away with a paintbrush.
And those started out with gelatin paper, just developed in your darkroom?
Yeah.
Were they developed completely before you started this process?
Yep, developed, fixed, washed, the whole bit. Washed, especially.
Washed.
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 Okay. Gracias.
Very cool, Beth. Thank you.
Thanks. And yes, I wish I had a fume hood in my darkroom, but I don't have room for one.
Anybody else have any questions for Beth?
No, I'll have to watch our pre-recorded video here because my Zoom crashed. I've never had that happen before. So sorry, Beth, I missed the first half of your program there, but I'll rewatch it. I've never had that happen before. It just totally froze.
I will attempt to get it posted either this evening or tomorrow sometime.
Okay, thanks, Brian.
All right. Well, Beth, I think it's for you to continue on with the rest of the meeting, correct?
Yep. Time for Edit-Palooza. Do you want me to share my screen, or do you want to do?
Whatever you want to do. I'm not sure how you wanted to do this. So
I was going to go through them kind of like we do when we're critiquing stuff, but I want the person who did it to say something about how they did it and like basically give an idea of what they did.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
So you get to see my messy desktop again, maybe. Let's see. All right. Does everybody see the
WPS? Yes.
Okay. Let me just pull up Edit-Palooza. Brian, you did one.
Yep. Cool. I told you I did one like 5 minutes to 7.
All right. I'm starting at the bottom one, which is Rex was the first one to do it. So
Oh, gosh. I did take some notes, but I can tell you that the key that, well, I can give you the short version of it. And then if you want more, I can give you a longer version of what I did. But the short version was typically finding what I felt was the right exposure. And then I went into the sky replacement and changed the sky. I looked at a couple of them and I thought which one would be most appropriate. And this is the one I came up with. So this is the one I put in. The one thing that I noticed that I did that I don't think I saw anybody else do as of the last time I looked was doing transforms. I found that the building had a barrel distortion to it through most of them. And what I did is I went into transform and straightened out the corners. So pretty much there might still be a little bit of curve to them, but I did my best to straighten them all out without looking unusual in some way. So that was most of what I did. Let me see. Sky mask and contrast, yeah. Color and yeah, one of the things that I did is typical. What I like to do is to examine very closely at say 300% the edges of things like the facade and in the trees over on the left-hand side of the image where you can see sky between the trees. I wanted to make sure that this sky replacement function was doing a good job of getting in between the trees, which I think it did. I need to move this thing over a little bit. And what could I remember? On the other side, yeah, that I looked down on the right where the very far right down low where the sky meets the tree line, the top of the tree line. I checked there as well to make sure at a very high magnification that it wasn't looking wonky, that it wasn't looking fuzzed out, or that there was artifacting around the edges. And I think I made it big enough so that if you go in and look at it, you can see it. But that was pretty much what I did. I used transform was the major thing. I went through some exposure adjustments, and then I added the replacement sky, of which there were a number, but I thought this was the one that was appropriate for it because it kind of looked pretty close to what you had originally started with, Beth.
Yeah, I think it was a cloudy day when I did it.
Noise was another thing. Yeah, what I like to do is go into the detail panel or in the develop panel and go to detail. And again, at around 300, looking very closely, and it did not have a lot of noise in there. Let's see, the all right, well, I'm not going to delay because I can't find it and I don't want to take up time. But yeah. Oh, for the overall exposure, I found it. It's but the contrast was 20. The shadows were 25. The whites were 3. The clarity was 60. Dehaze was 35. These are all on the plus side. The noise was 20. And the rest is center or zero, the rest of the settings. So that was it. That and a little bit of saturation on the brick. I brought the brick up a little bit more. That's about it.
Anyone else have any comments?
Rex put a border on it too, right?
Well, yeah, I did. That's kind of have it. That's, yeah. I started this habit years and years ago. I was reading somewhere where the person had said that an artwork isn't finished until it's framed, until it's where it's going to be presented. And I always like to put a frame of some kind to differentiate between whatever the noise is going to be around the outside of it, so that you can really see it, especially if it's a lot of white in the picture, then it needs to have some kind of cutoff in it somewhere. So I do like to put a frame around them, and I try to make the frames appropriate. And I do like to put my name in there, but I like it to keep it very small. But I do like it in there in a corner somewhere. Oh, the one, I don't know, I don't have it set up now. I think it was Marty's. Marty did one, was it, or Melissa, that did one with, it looked like strokes. Whose was that?
That's Marty.
Marty did that. I was fascinated with that one. That's the one that I would like to see up close again. What I was interested in is it wasn't just a single pattern that was laid out over the whole picture. Marty, you can probably tell the story better than me. But what I did is I went in closely and looked at, say, once again, at the facade, and looked at the detail in the facade was completely different from the detail, the pattern, I should say, the texture. The texture in the sky was completely different from the texture in the facade. And the texture in the brick looked completely different from that. So I'm thinking there was a lot of work that went into that.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of work.
We'll
Right?
get
You
to
pushed
that
a
one.
button. Tell me now you pushed a button and it was done, right?
Pretty much.
No, come on now. Come on. Tell us.
I'm not that good.
We'll get to hers too.
Okay.
We'll go through all of them. I really like how you made the flowers pop in this one.
I like how you took it from a cloudy day to a really warm summer day. You just really transformed the
Yeah.
weather.
The original looked kind of darkish, kind of dim, and I felt it needed brightening up, and that's what I did. And I did add saturation too. The saturation was +7. That's all I needed to do with the exposure that I had. See, you got it right here. The 5 was 22. The shadow was kicked up to +42. That was a little bit bigger number for shadow. And then saturation was +7.
Any other comments?
I like the way he left the electrical line in there.
All right, let's check the next one. Jim gave us 3. Let's see, there's this one, this version, and this one. Is there one in particular that you want to go over now, and then we can look closer at the other two if there's time at the end?
We'll just do the first one, Beth.
This one?
Yeah. And to
Okay.
be honest, all of the editing was the same for the three, with the exception of the second one. I applied a style just to kind of adjust. It was kind of a color grading type style. And of
Okay.
course, the third one was simply a very simple black and white conversion.
Mhm.
So, by the way, Rex, thanks for
Yeah.
going first, because it gave me time to go check my what I actually did with my photo, because I'd forgotten.
Okay, all right.
So as Rex did, in Capture One, they call it keystoning, which is the same as what Rex did, transforming. And Capture One's nice. You can do a one button keystone selection, and it'll straighten it out for you. And then you can adjust if you don't like what came. So that was the first thing I did. I did the keystoning. Selected the sky with just a selection brush, and darkened it, reduced the highlights a little bit, and added some clarity just to bring what little bit of detail was in the clouds out. And Margie, I'm sure you'll be checking, obviously. I made sure to
I
get rid of
did.
that wire over on the
I
left-hand
saw that.
side.
Nobody's living there. They're all with
And I
candles.
also got rid of the little Guardian security sign at the
Yep,
front
I saw
door.
that.
And I was going to do those little lamps, and I thought, oh crap, I'm not going to take all this time to do that. But
They're a pain.
yeah, I would have removed those as well, but I was tired. I didn't want to do it anymore. There's a little branch sticking out the left-hand side of the
On the
roof. I peeled that out of there.
I saw that.
You also notice I actually healed out the roadway on the left side.
Oh, yeah.
Just, it wasn't necessary, but I just put grass in there. I think
think you
that's
did
all
well.
the healing I did.
Good.
I selected the building and added some clarity to it. Oh, and then I desaturated the grass a little bit. It's just my thing. I don't like bright green grass. What can I tell you? So I desaturated it a little bit. And I think that's it.
Any comments? I know, Margie, you probably want the power line back in, but
Yes.
that's the building that they do actually have the new distillery too. I guess they're
Has to
now
be-
producing.
It would have to be manual because there's no power line.
Underground wires.
They paid that hamster overtime.
Yeah.
He gets to run on whiskey. Well done. And Candy?
Well, I started out by tweaking the contrast and a couple other highlights. And then I did this all on my phone.
Oh, cool.
And then I used an app called Artista Oil, and it converts your pictures to an oil painting. You can change the depth of the canvas and the brush strokes and all kinds of things. You can turn it into a sketch. You can turn it into abstract painting. So it's just a lot of fun to play with. So I thought I'd just share that instead of all because I know everybody else is really good at Photoshop and Lightroom, and I don't do that much. So I thought I'd do something different.
Cool. That's very cool. I like how it, like over here on the trees, it's less so, and then it gives it an extra border, which I really like. It looks a lot more artistic that way, I think.
Yeah, you can change a lot of the details as far as painting goes in this app. So it's just it's a lot of fun to play with. It's a lot of fun to take a picture that you like and put it in there and play around with it. And
That's cool. I don't think I have that one. I'm trying to look through my phone and without my glasses on to see if I have it. I don't see it.
What was
That one's cool though.
app again?
Artista oil.
That's cool. Very cool. And Suzanne.
Well, I'm sorry I didn't write down all the things I did, so I'll just have to, go by memory. But I think the first thing I did was use like the Lightroom, I guess it's called Transform, to get the perspective. It seemed to improve it somewhat. And then when I was initially, fooling around with it, I just thought it would look nice if it looked like an old-fashioned postcard. So I took out the electrical wires because they didn't have them back then. I think I got most of the, more modern stuff off. If I missed something, I don't remember. I did put a replacement sky in there, and I used like a reverse vignette to give it that antique kind of look, and then the shading, to make it look like an old photograph. And then I put a border on it too. I think that's about it, and then I may have even reversed the clarity on it. I believe that's about all.
I think it looks cool. I think it looks like it fits the time period.
I
Yeah,
do
think it
too.
does too.
Yeah, I like it.
Why didn't you take out the spotlights in front of the door?
Why didn't I, or
Yeah.
did I miss one?
The ones
Yeah.
down here,
Above the door.
Oh,
plus
shucks.
there's
They're
that.
both above and
This
below.
this one would be really tough
Well,
Well,
would be.
because it merges in with the stock and
Yeah.
oh, I definitely
Correct.
screwed up. Yeah, I missed it. I don't know.
Susie, and I think that one's operating on an oil. It's an oil.
Oh,
That's
thank
right.
you. All right, I'll take that.
Hey, Susie, I have a
Well-
question for you. Maybe it's the type of border you put, but the tree on the left-hand side, how did you make it look like there's snow on the tree?
I think that was just the reverse vignetting
Okay, all right.
that did that.
It looks cool that way.
yeah, it does.
Well, yeah, I definitely screwed up with the lights, so I thought I got
Yeah.
them all. Oh, well.
And there's tire tracks. There's a depression in the grass.
Yeah.
Well, those are wagon wheels.
It's pretty wide way.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe it was like a big stone wheel. I don't,
Yeah, big stone wheel.
yeah, okay.
And you took out the electrical lines on the building on the right.
Yeah, there was a
Yeah.
whole bunch of them over there.
It's nice.
The stuff there, yeah.
Well, you can get away with sloppy editing when you use that reverse vignette. It kind of covered up the mess I made after I took the wires out. But okay, well, I'll revisit that and get the other stuff off of there then. Thanks.
I think you did a great job.
I do too.
You even got the barrel down here too.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what it was, and I thought, well, might draw a little bit too much attention to it, so I wanted to get it out of there.
Suzanne, no, that was the oil tank that fed the oil light.
Oh, no.
Now they're really in the dark.
Oh, no.
That's the
Oh,
reason the light's not turned on.
Yep.
I think that was cool.
thanks.
And I didn't think of putting the moon in there at first. My first idea was I was going to put in just like some sort of texture thing. And then I decided, after going through all my textures and going, no, not quite that one. No, not quite that one. I decided, you know what? There's a nice big space. I'm going to put the moon right there. So I decided to make it a really big moon. And it didn't really, getting the sky to work didn't really, it was, yeah. So I decided I would make it look like night. And I really wanted to have some sort of ghosty figure, like right here behind the window, but I couldn't really figure out how to do that. And I couldn't remember how to make the windows look like there were lights on inside. So I just left it like this, but I just made it black and white.
Yeah.
And you'll notice, Margie, I did not get rid of the.
I did. I was shocked when I saw that.
Yep. But I made everything dark and I cropped off the side because I couldn't get the sky to work that well with the tree over here with those gaps. So I just cropped it. And I think I have a version where I made all the edges of the buildings a little bit more straight and tilted correctly, but I couldn't make it work with the sky because I did stuff in the wrong order. So I went with this one.
So Beth, I gotta ask you, what's the explanation? Was there like a forest fire in the area or heavy industrial pollution that so polluted the sky that the full moon is so dark?
Yeah, something like that. Because this is the moon was actually shot on a blue sky. It's not even a nighttime moon shot.
Oh, okay.
The original, it's actually blue. But I don't remember which preset for black and white I used. I used different black and white presets for the buildings and for the sky. And whatever one I chose for the sky made everything black. And I was like, oh, I didn't know it was going to do that, but okay, I think I'll go with that. But I was going for like something that would fit in a sci-fi book or something.
Being a creature of the night, I seem to notice that your moon is on the wrong side of the building.
Probably.
Yeah, because this, oh, you can't see my mouse. What's shown in the front of it looks like it is reflecting the moonlight.
Well, yeah, it would have been sunlight though, but
well,
yeah. I'm probably, this shot is probably looking to the north or something anyway, I think.
Yeah, I think the sun was well behind us at that point of the day. Not positive.
I don't know. Now, because I shot the picture of the buildings on June 13th, I think. And knowing me, it wasn't that early in the morning. But so that's what I did with that one. I might play with it a little bit more. someday. I did get rid of the sign and the lamp that's in front of the door, and it really is a pain to get rid of that lamp. Oh, that's cool.
Marty's, yeah.
Yeah. That is a really neat texture, especially
Yeah.
in the sky.
All right, so. Yep. So in Lightroom, I messed with like the texture and the clarity a little bit. Maybe a little bit of dehaze. And then one of those presets that Rex was talking about, I actually hit one of those and now they're gone. I can't find them, but
No.
but I did use one of them to enhance the sky a little bit because there was not much detail in this original sky. So I wanted to bring that out. And one of those presets actually had more detail in the sky. And then I was having so much trouble with Photoshop today. Somehow I don't remember how, but I got rid of that branch up there sticking out of the roof. And then I got rid of the branches over in the right corner. I think I got the ones in the right corner through Lightroom, but I don't remember how I did the one for the other. And then in Photoshop, I just applied, I went into filters and did the oil paint. And then I adjusted the brushes and stuff. And that's how I got that. So yeah, it was a one button push. You just make it into oil paint. And then you just kind of work with the textures of your brushes and stuff. So it was pretty much a one button thing because, you know, I hate Photoshop so bad.
Yeah, I think you're doing good justice to it. You're using it fine. I'm still amazed. I'm amazed at how if you look very closely, I brought it in so that, and you made it big enough so that you can enlarge it really large on a monitor. And I'm looking at the detail across the facade. It's a totally different direction than the sky and a totally different direction from the brick. So does it go in and select it itself? Is that what it's doing?
It pretty much does it itself. I just told it like how big of a stroke I wanted to do, and then what size brush, and then it kind of just takes care of it. So it's pretty easy. I did the same thing like back in December when we did the stuff for the Christmas party, when we went and took pictures, and mine was the Santa Claus, and I applied the same type of technique with that because that was out of focus. And so I figured if I did the oil paint, it wouldn't matter if it was out of focus. So if you have something that's a little out of focus, this works really well. I might have to use it more often. Because, you know, my focusing sometimes is not so great, but hopefully with the R5, I won't have that problem anymore. And then I do have a Photoshop question. I was trying to get one of the brushes and I was trying to like on the same photo, but I was going to try different. And I was trying to select that stupid little branch that was above the roof there. And I could not, for the life of me, adjust that stupid brush to like clone it out or paint it out or anything. How do you adjust that brush? Like
I know what you're talking about because
I did
sometimes
the brackets,
mine's
I did the plus sign, I did the parentheses.
Yeah.
I hit Alt, I hit Control, I hit Shift along with that, and I could not adjust that stupid brush.
And you did the bracket keys, right?
I did them all.
Okay, I've had this problem before, Marty. I saved my picture I'm working on. I have to shut down Photoshop and then I bring it back up and things go back to normal. But make sure, one thing is when you're adjusting your brush, if it's so large, you're not going to see yourself adjusting it. So you're going to have to go ahead and hit the control button and the minus, and is it control minus? I do it automatically anyway, and work trying to bring it down because you may have the brush too large.
No, it was teeny tiny. It was like,
Okay, then I have to save it. I save it because I've had that problem more than once.
I tried control plus, I tried control brackets, I controlled parentheses, I did alt, I did shift, nothing
Yeah,
bigger.
yeah.
I tried to throw my computer.
I just save it back because I take everything through Lightroom. So I save it back to Lightroom and then I bring it back into Photoshop, and usually that takes care of the problem. I don't know about anybody else, but
Yeah,
that's what I've done.
Like I did it 3 times and I could not get that stupid brush to move. And
Did you get into the brush settings and do it manually?
I hate Photoshop, okay? I really do. I really need a Photoshop class, like basics, because I just hate Photoshop.
There you go, Brian. That sounds like something the club could use.
So anyways, so I cheated and did the one filter oil paint filter, and that's my product because it would work. Nothing else would work.
What I really like about this picture is it looks like a sunset, and the way the sun is hitting the side of the building, of course, the front of the building, so it's coming at an angle there, but it also made the grass darker with shadows in it. And I love the shadow effect that you've got, not only on the building, but in the grass itself and the plants.
That was part of my contrast and texture stuff that I did in Lightroom. And then when I took it over to Photoshop, really in Photoshop, the only thing I did was the oil paint thing in Photoshop. Everything else I did in Lightroom. Except maybe that, I did that little branch that was above the thing in Photoshop. It worked the first time. And then after that, I couldn't get it to work again. It would like grab that green gray color of the roof and make like streaks. And it's like, what the heck is it? I hate Photoshop. It just doesn't work the way I want it to. It should just disappear when I want it to go away.
Are we talking about a piece of tree that is now obscured, or is it still in the picture? I'm not sure which one.
No, it's not there anymore. I did get up on this one.
Yeah, it was on. Yeah, it was on the left. Go ahead.
Left-hand top.
Yeah, it was on the left-hand top, and it was only like 3 branches.
Yeah. Okay.
Any other comments? Okay, moving on. All right, Margie, you've got this one. This one, I like those flowers.
Yeah, I do too.
That one. So which one of these
you know, I don't like the first one, but the first one has more involved in it. So let's go to the first one, even though it's not my favorite or anything like that. You can make it bigger.
That's as big as it goes on my screen.
Oh, well, crud. Yeah, it goes a decent size on mine. But anyway, let's just take a look. Of course, it's Photoshop. I put it in Lightroom, took it over to Photoshop. Then I went ahead and cropped it. And the door was kiltered. It was at a slant. So I like the transform tool. I use it on the bigger things, but on the smaller things, I always use Camera Raw. So you go to Filter, Camera Raw, Geometry, and then I sort of straightened it up a little bit. And I really couldn't get the bricks on each side to straighten up the way I wanted to. So I went back into Photoshop, used my selection tool on the left-hand side, went back into camera raw geometry, and then I straightened it up. You have more control in camera raw than you will ever have in transform tool. And I straightened it up, then I did the same thing with the other side. After that, I decided, well, I wanted to take another plant, so put it on the other side of the door. So I made a selection tool and selected the plant that's on the right, copied and pasted and flipped it and put it on the left. Then I used a cloning tool to make it look a little bit different than the one that was on the right. So flipped it around. The cloning, I also used, let me see here. I went down to, I put the photo in Luminar Neo, which I really like. I've been using a lot of it. And I went to the two relights. I went to the relight and I played around and came up with the colors that I did want. And after that, then the details, I went to details and I sharpened it some because you have a problem with when you reduce it like that, you know, it gets a little bit noise in there. But I also enlarged and I went to the windows because you can see the noise in the windows. So I used the blur tool, and for each pane, I went ahead and I blurred it out to give it more of a shine. Other than that, went back to, in the window panes. And I also used content aware to get rid of the signs as well as cloning. Like I said, it's a lot larger on my computer when I brought it up. It's, but you use the cloning. If you look at the very bottom there, that's where you had your light. And so I took that out, not only with content aware, but I cloned that one top bar across the bottom. I cloned it over and I made some of the black stuff. I cloned down below the little bar or the piece of wood, and I cloned that in so it looks more natural. And that's about it. Then that's about it. So I enjoy playing in Photoshop. Photoshop has always been my baby. Lightroom I suffer, but I really enjoy playing in that. And I used a lot of grids to make sure everything is straight.
Though I'm not entirely sure that the building itself is straight.
I don't think the building was straight to begin with.
Like the actual building is not straight.
Yeah, it's not. And if you look at this, you know, it was out of tilt on the actual building.
Mm-hmm.
And I used a little bit because of the way the sun was. I did use a little bit of the Dodge tool on some of the plants because the light was coming in that way. And I just enhanced it a little bit on the bricks too, where the light was coming in. I didn't add that highlight. I just enhanced it a very small bit. But if y'all haven't used Camera Raw, that's something y'all really need to get into. It's fantastic. And that's what I use for anything small.
Well,
That's it.
Photoshop. I'll come take lessons from you.
I'll show you anything you need to know if I know it. If I don't, I'll find out how to do it.
Margie, is content aware in Photoshop or Camera Raw?
No, I use content aware to remove the signs, and the Camera Raw I used, you get there by going to the filter and then Camera Raw and then geometry instead of transform tool.
But
it's a very great perspective type of tool.
It's in Photoshop, Suzanne.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Photoshop. Okay, next.
I really like how you did the bushes. and even that out too. That's cool.
The door, it was, you know, your perspective of the building, and I really liked that you chose that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted it straight on.
This is Bob DeJesus. Is he on tonight?
No.
I don't think he is, but that was a cool choice for a sky. Because there isn't really, like, the lighting on the building is kind of diffuse anyway, because it was cloudy when I took the shot. So it kind of fits with lots of different things.
I see where he left the little tree branches in.
I didn't mind too, I think.
He got rid of the
Mine, they all
tank.
turned black. All right, Brian, you're up.
Pretty simple. I put it in Luminar AI, changed the sky, and did a couple little color adjustments in Lightroom. That's about it.
Mm.
Quick and simple. The next one, I actually uploaded another one. I did more to it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
There's little branches in there.
Yep.
And the power
Yeah,
line.
like I said, I did that within minutes of the meeting starting. Because I was busy all day today. I didn't have time to work on it at work like I expected to.
I do like the sky.
I think that's a cool sky.
Where'd the sky come from?
Luminar AI.
AI, okay.
I, of course, adjusted it. I mean, from what Luminar did, when I put it back in Lightroom, I did a sky, select sky there and adjusted just the sky a little bit from there, and then adjusted a few colors a little bit beyond that. Nothing too.
Looks like there's steam or something coming off of the roof.
I was gonna say, it almost looks like the sun was setting back there instead of in the front part where it's sunny.
Yeah, I put a I might have put a complete color cast on the whole picture to darken the whole picture and give it some blue.
Okay.
Yeah.
That way the sunset would fit better in the background. If you refresh, you'll see my other one.
Yeah, let me. We've got time to go through all of the others, right?
Yeah, it's only 8:30.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
Well, that's yours, Brian?
Yep.
Okay.
See.
So with this one, I spent a
Neat.
little bit more time. And this is, I put this in Luminar Neo, changed the sky, added the sun rays. Did some adjustments there, and then I brought it back to Lightroom and did a black and white preset on it in Lightroom. And then I went back through the black and white preset and adjusted the filters for the different colors, for the reds and the greens, to get what I was looking for out of it. I like adding those sun flares. The Luminar does a nice job of adding them sun flares in.
And just checking on a map, just so that everybody knows that sun is coming from the northwest. But it looks cool. It looks like it fits.
So that was all I did to that one. Like I said, I just Luminar Neo is what I use to do the sky and the sun in that one.
Very cool. I like the sky over here too.
Yeah. Yeah. And I did do a select subject and up the texture and stuff in the subject. So the subject would have been the building itself, and just did a little bit of clarity and a little bit of texture in there to get those bricks to come out a little bit more.
Looks cool. So one ordinary building can look like all sorts of things,
Yep.
which is very cool.
That was a nice idea to come up with this one. That worked out well.
Thanks. Any others that, like, do you want to go through that one or that one? Any that anybody wants to see?
Let's see the second one.
That one?
Yeah.
It was the first photo with a color grading style applied to it.
And what did you use?
It was a style, just a can style, a one press button style. It color grades the photo for you.
What program?
I use Capture One.
Oh, that's right. I knew that.
I like what this one did with the clouds, because they have a little bit more definition to them.
So it looks like Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Well, Beth, that's interesting because I didn't do anything different with the sky. Go back to the first photo. I'm curious just to look at it.
Like, it's there. I think the other one just brings it out.
It enhanced it a little bit. Yeah, yeah. Actually, I hadn't even noticed that, to be honest with you.
Because it's got just a little hint of blue to it.
Yeah.
I think that just popped it out more. Yeah. Especially like here and here.
One of the things I've discovered from some of the earlier videos that we've shown on Zooms is the dehaze filter is a good one to check on when you're looking at sky. I found that the dehaze filter, if you use it carefully, can really begin to give you more contrast in the sky, but you have to be careful about the noise that it seems to add if you're not careful with it. But I'm just dropping this in here for any comment. But I have found that using dehaze on the sky in small quantities can actually improve the separation, especially when you have a very there is contrast here, but it's a very low contrast, and sliding that dehaze slider just a little bit more will give you some separation.
Cool. I'll have to try that.
Yeah, that works for me too.
Mm-hmm.
And then it'll like it works, but then my all my dust spots show up from my sensor. when I do that.
Yeah.
Then I
Just
gotta
a-
clean all those up too.
just a little bit, just a little
Well,
bit.
even
And
sometimes just a little bit. I see all the dust.
well, if you've selected sky using the mask or some other way, and you go in, I know it's kind of odd, but the detail you're looking for is noise. That's what you're really looking for. The first mission is to try to create a separation between the lights and the darks of the sky. So if you've isolated it to just the sky, so you're not doing anything in the actual subject area, just the sky, and then bring it up to 200 or 300% and look at it. And then while you're in there, slide that noise filter just a little bit, because at 300%, if you can hide some of that noise at 300%, it won't be seen at 200 or 100.
That's right.
So I'm saying that, just to go in and look at creative more of a skin than you do of the salt and pepper that you see from noise. Also, a good time to check is for color noise, which would be you go to the detail filter and you go down and look at, actually, if you're in the mask, you have to use what's called noise, and you can control some of that color with the escapes me the name, the slider just below it. How's that? And if that isn't what you want to do, another way to do it is later on, after you've closed the mask and you're looking at the whole thing, you can still go back and look at the color noise in the detail panel. Anyway, actually, I'm going too far here, but using the dehaze filter will give you a little more detail. If you don't have what you want to start with, you might try using the dehaze to see if you can get a little more difference between the clouds, or difference between the clouds and the haze, or the difference between the cloud and the sky. Comments, anyone?
I don't use Lightroom, but I'll have to see what On One gives me, because
Mhm.
it's got a lot of similar control, but
Mhm.
slightly different, and
Mhm.
in different places, of course, but.
Whatever corresponds to it, yeah.
Yeah. So just scrolling through all the different variations, which is cool. I like that.
Can you go down to mine with the flowers? I want to see if you can bring that one up. Either second or third one, it doesn't matter.
Let's do this one.
Okay. Hit it again.
That's it. I've got a huge monitor that it's on, so it brings it up at just as big as however many pixels, but on my screen, it's just going to look small because my whole thing is big.
Okay, that's okay. Because I know that when I posted them, they did, it looks twice that size when I posted it. So in Reddit, so I didn't understand. It looks real small. Anyway, I did the same thing here, camera raw, straightened it up so the window's not tilted. I wanted to look straight on at it. Do it in the knee roll, add a little bit of highlights to it. Same thing I did to the other pretty much. I just wanted to take a look I blurred the windows, and by blurring the windows, it looks like there's a reflection on them. And then I cloned in some more of the, yeah, like you can see my finger. You see on that third pane or the second pane down, I cloned, it was a little bit of that in there. So I went ahead and cloned some more in, so it took up the whole pane. And that's probably about it between Neo and Photoshop. But like I said, that Camera Raw, I really like it because it really does straighten things out better than Transform Tool on smaller detailed items. That's it, and I'll put a border around it. It's hard to get anything when you're cropping something out. I wanted to be different. I wanted to show that you can take different parts of a picture. You didn't have to take the whole picture, but actually take different parts of a picture to create a photo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you did a great job with it. I think you should have put something mysterious in the window, though.
I know, I thought about that. It would have been easy to do too.
Yeah.
You know, I could have had another layer.
Yeah.
And put the layer in behind
Maybe
the
a
window.
cat.
Huh?
Maybe a cat.
Yeah, a ghost face. Brian's face. I got a lot of Brian pictures. Yeah. No comment over there with Brian.
I heard you. I heard you.
Well, hey, Margie, a question for you.
Yes.
Beth has already addressed it, but you know, the reason it's showing small is because you did a really tight crop.
I did.
I'm curious. So let's assume that this was a photo that you liked so much, you wanted to make a fairly large print out of it. Because it's low resolution, it might not print as well as it looks on our monitors here.
No, it wouldn't.
So I don't want to tell you something that you're already familiar with. I know Photoshop can do an enlargement.
Yeah.
I use Topaz Gigapixel to do enlargements. So that would be something you could apply to a photo like this and create the pixels, if you will, that you could then go ahead and print it out fairly large.
Yeah. Not only that, but I could have extended the sides and the top. You know, duplicating it to extend it. In fact, Brian showed you all how to do that at one time, and you could add it more to it to make it a larger picture. But I left it like that because, like I said, on my monitor, when I got into Reddit, it was small. You couldn't bring it up much, but it wasn't like this. So, but that's, you know, I wasn't planning on using this and anything else. It was just more, this is how I did it. And you can take different parts of a picture within the picture and make another photo out of it. And that's basically what it was, is more a learning type of thing.
Yeah. I think it's very balanced too. What you chose to crop it to works really well. I think the other one's the same crop.
It's the same thing. I just made it a little bit darker.
Yeah.
And I had a little bit more of a tilt to it.
Yeah.
That one I did not use Camera Raw in. I just cropped it out and threw it in the Neo, basically. And then came back and where it was highlighted, just dodged a little tiny bit where it was highlighted. But as you can see, it's got that tilt to it. So that's the only difference from the other is I didn't do much of anything to that one.
Yeah.
See the difference in the window?
Yeah.
The plants and everything, it's all different. Yeah. That's the original one from the picture. Yeah.
All right, Brian, what do you want to do next?
I don't know. Is there anything else to do?
We've only got about 10 minutes left.
We only got a few minutes. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna stop sharing. If that's okay.
Okay.
Okay, you know, I'm not a Lightroom person. I'm still learning, but something has happened where I can't, the controls up there to X out, to minimize it and etc. does not come up in Lightroom. So I'm having to go over there to file, edit and exit. So I can't save it to my the catalog. How do I get that back?
What?
What?
Okay, up in the corner. If you look at what you're looking at, well, that's probably from me, Zoom meeting, but up in the right-hand corner, you have your X where you can X out at. Right?
Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Red
And you-
X, and then it drops to the taskbar
right, then, yeah,
or goes away. Yeah.
I can't get it back to be able to minimize it.
You can't get the X back?
And all of that is gone. You know how you got where you can minimize it? You've got a minus sign.
Mhm.
You've got the little square boxes and then you got an X.
Right.
I don't have those.
When you look down on your taskbar and you put your cursor over the Photoshop, if it's there, does it pop up a little screen for you?
Lightroom.
Lightroom, same thing. If you,
Hold on. I'm
well,
hanging
well,
in.
if you put your cursor down at the bottom of the your screen, does
What
it
side?
pop up? Huh?
What side of the screen? Any side?
The bottom? No, anywhere along the bottom of the screen, there should be a little icon for Lightroom that pops up. Did you
Oh,
see
yeah,
it?
well, I'm in Lightroom now. Okay.
And you right now you have it and you can see it and everything is normal?
No, I'm missing that X, that minus, the little square boxes. On the very top, it says file, edit, develop, photo.
Yeah.
That's all the way
Yeah.
on your left-hand side. On the other side, I'm missing the X and the minus and, you know, the square box.
It's, I don't know how it happened, but it sounds like what it is too large. So you're not looking at the border edges. It's hiding up above in there somewhere. Is there a way that you can just take your cursor to the top and just grab and move, press down, put left, take the cursor to the top, left click, hold it down and then move it around?
No, it won't move.
Doesn't do anything.
I think that's a feature that can be turned off. I'm not sure how to turn it back on again. Does it come on whenever you restart?
Nope, I just
Lightroom?
restarted. Nope, I just restarted it.
Okay, go to the upper left-hand corner,
Uh-huh.
the top corner, and see if you can get anything to happen up there. What are you seeing?
File, edit, develop, photo settings, tools, view, window, help.
Okay, right-click on that and see if you have anything there that can adjust what you see on your screen. Right-click on that top area of...
Yeah, I am and nothing. Yep, nothing.
Do you have you have the information along the top, like you just said, right? You have
Yes.
file, edit, develop, everything. Do you have another little gray bar that runs along the top above it?
No.
Okay. All right, what's going on here? Let's see.
She just got that turned off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to know how to turn it back on.
That's
Because
what we're working on. That's what we're
it's
It's
if I
under
wanna-
view. I know you have went into view and you click on full screen
Okay.
because I just did it and I lost everything. I just have the picture. That's it.
View options.
It was under
View options.
Oh, hide toolbar.
Yeah.
No.
T. Oh, just hit the T on your keyboard.
Nothing. That just makes my,
Mm.
yeah, nothing. I know it's supposed to bring it up because it says press T to show toolbar, but it's nothing.
Well, that's calling the toolbar is the one that's underneath. So let's continue looking, but it's probably just a letter that you have to touch.
Okay, well, I'll play with it. Nothing, I'll go to YouTube or something because it is driving me, Control H, hide. Because it's driving me insane because I can't minimize it when I want to do something else. It's just really irritating me.
Hit your delete key.
Yeah, I did that. I don't know how many times.
Oh,
already.
okay. Because I
Thank
went
you.
full screen. I went full screen and I didn't have any controls. I didn't have the blue bar. I didn't have the menu bar at the top. All I had was the picture. And I couldn't do anything.
You have an escape key?
Yeah, I've already did
That's
it.
the delete, yeah. So I hit
Yeah.
and it brought it back down to where I can mess with the settings and
Has
stuff.
Brian used your computer lately?
Oh, it's Lightroom. What can I say? You know, Brian and I go over this Lightroom stuff because I have such a hard time with Lightroom. I'm a Photoshop person and I'm trying on Lightroom, but it's just stuff like this just goes right through me. That's okay. I'll YouTube it or I'll do a search and.
Are you using Windows?
Uh-huh.
That's the
I
first
think
problem.
You're playing around with a Windows problem as opposed to a Lightroom problem.
Yep.
That much I can say for sure.
Okay. Well, I'll definitely,
Not a bug, it's a feature.
yeah.
Oh, that was a bug.
You hate Lightroom.
Windows is a bug.
I hate Photoshop.
Yeah, that's it too. Yeah, I am.
It's possible we're being bugged by a feature.
No, they're fruit flies. Not a big deal.
Okay.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I was just hoping it'd be a nice, easy thing to do, but it's not. So I'll figure
It'll
it
be
out.
when you figure it out.
Huh?
It will be a real simple thing when you figure it out.
It will be. I know it will be.
I guarantee that. Been there, did that.
Okay. Well, thank you anyway, y'all. Did I take up enough? Nope. You still have 5 more minutes.
You got anything going on in the other corner of your screen?
Yeah, I mean, it's file, edit, develop, blah, 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 you know.
In the upper left-hand corner, is there a Lightroom icon above
Yeah.
file?
Yeah, right below it. Address lookup and face detection when I click on the icon.
Well, don't click on it, right-click on it. On the icon.
Okay,
What
Adobe
options do you
ID. Lightroom Classic, should I try? Lightroom?
Just above file.
Yeah, right-click on it.
Oh, I don't have anything above file, I have it below
Yeah.
file. And
Below.
it, yeah. Right next to my name, it's got, you know, my name.
Right. Yeah. We
Yeah, we're gonna go above.
have that.
Yeah, it says identity plate, Adobe ID is checked, Lightroom Classic unchecked, personalized, show status and activity.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, DL.
Yeah.
All right. For those of us that do have it, it's the gray screen goes across the top. If you right click on that, I notice it says show catalog location, and it does say Lightroom catalog, and it gives the readout for what catalog it is. So I'm wondering if somewhere in under edit or file, that's where you would find a way to get that back up there again. But it says, if you right click on it, see where it says show catalog location?
I see that, but
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
not.
the what,
And it's
slide
Looking
showing
for
show?
the commands above it, like restore, minimize, maximize.
Yes, I
Yes.
don't have that.
Yeah, because you can't. Yes, that's scrolled off the screen for some reason. What's your screen resolution?
How do I know? Let me see.
Oh, you know what?
What?
Are you on the max screen thing? Try on bring. Oh, you can't do that because you can't. See.
For some reason, it seems like
Let me just-
Lightroom has grown
Oh,
larger than your screen resolution.
Yeah, it almost sounds like a trip back to the start, Windows start, and then to settings, and then up into your screen size. So that would be,
Right click on
Either
your
that or
taskbar
reboot.
and say show desktop.
can't get in any of that.
Reboot.
Well,
Right
I will,
click on your taskbar and
nothing
show
happens.
desktop.
Nothing happens. Nothing happens.
When you right click on the taskbar at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, I just did. Oh, on my taskbar.
Yes.
Okay, taskbar settings.
Show
What do you-
desktop.
Hold on. Okay, show the desktop. All right, I got there.
Okay, now right click on the desktop and go to display settings.
Got it. Okay.
Scroll down and what are your options for screen resolution? See if you can
Yeah,
go.
that's what I'm looking for. I haven't been in here in a while. It would have been easier to go the other way. Problem. Let me see. Scale, multiple display, landscape. 1920, 1080.
You can't get any larger, right?
No.
All right, that's not. Gonna
Yes, I can. 1680, 1050.
click on that.
Keep these displays, keep changes. All right.
Now click on your Lightroom icon.
All right. Yeah, still the same.
It's all the same. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, still the same.
Try rebooting.
I already did several times. It's been like this for about a week.
Huh.
So I've already rebooted several times. There's something when I was playing with Lightroom that I had to hit. And I don't know what it is, but I'm just going to have to go in there and check it out. Like I said, I don't know Lightroom the way I should know Lightroom.
I will guarantee you it was something that you hit.
I know. Yeah, you know how I am with Lightroom. We've had more arguments about the thing.
There's one more
I'll
idea.
figure it out.
I have one more idea for you.
I've done this. It's
On
weird.
your desktop, right click the Lightroom icon and go to properties.
Okay, hold on. I'm playing around here. Let me get out of this. Okay. Gosh, I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. We're taking up too much time now. And I'm starting to. What are we trying to get into? I'm sorry.
Yeah, just right click on the Lightroom icon on your desktop.
All right.
Go to properties.
It won't take me there. Doesn't take me there. Right. Edit, preferences, library.
Shortcuts.
Give me a shortcut. Yeah.
Shortcut tab.
Yeah, because it doesn't show up that way. With my icon, I've tried left and right. and it just does not.
You right click, you should get a drop down, and at the bottom of it is properties.
But I don't. That's just it. I do not get the drop down. When I,
Oh, well, you're in Windows 11, aren't you?
no, yeah,
You're,
no, I'm not in the newest one, no.
you're in Windows 10?
Yeah, I'm in Windows 10.
The shortcut on your desktop, if you right click that, you should get a drop down.
Not in your desk, not in your taskbar, but on your screen.
On your desktop.
Oh, on my desktop. Okay, I was doing that on, okay, now what am I looking for?
Properties. It's at the bottom.
Yeah, hold on. Okay, don't have properties. I have test bar settings.
Oh,
At the
enter.
taskbar on the desktop.
I'm on the
Icon-
taskbar.
The
I'm on the
icon on the
desk-
desktop. Desktop.
Yes, I did.
Right
You're in
click
the
the
task-
icon on the desktop.
She's got
She
the
may
split
not have
settings
the-
to personalize.
I
She
don't,
may
yeah,
not have a icon
have
on the
pers-
desktop.
yeah, I have it's personalized, a display settings, a view.
You have an icon where you can go like on
You have
your,
to click, you have to right click the icon. If you right click the desktop, you'll get this.
Margie, on your desktop, do you have a shortcut that opens up Lightroom?
Yes,
Right click that.
That's what he wants you to right click, the shortcut.
all right, gotcha. Okay, Margie Jinky, edit, let's see, Lightroom catalog, Adobe Classic. So let me right click, that was right click. Unpin from taskbar. That's all I've
Yeah,
got.
you don't want to do that.
No, you're clicking the icon on the taskbar.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's
she may
right.
not, she may not have an icon on her actual desktop deal.
Hang on a second.
All right, let me try the other icon. I'm doing it on the test. So here's one that is actually on the properties. I got where you're looking. Okay, I got you. Now what?
Okay, you got properties open?
Yep.
Okay. On the shortcut tab, find run and tell me what's in that window there.
Normal window.
Try clicking minimized and then we'll go back to maximizing it.
Yeah.
On what? Because I can't, I can't.
Click where it says
Okay.
run. It says normal window and a down arrow.
All right,
Click on the down arrow.
all right.
It says normal window, minimize and maximized.
So click on maximize.
Click on minimized.
All right. Get back in Lightroom. Oh, I do love Lightroom. I mean, that is my very favorite thing in the world. Hit me, apply, okay. All right. Trying to bring Lightroom back up. Let me see here. You might as well forget that. It's definitely not working. No. That's okay, guys. I'll figure it out. I'm really not that terrible about figuring it out. I'll just go through there and hit different things because it's still not there.
I've done this more times than not, Margie.
Yeah.
I can't quite put my finger on how I got back out of it, but it had something to do with resizing the screen to get it back to normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing's ringing except my ears.
Yeah, I can, like I said, I'll do it later because we're already 7 minutes after and we have that other meeting to go to. All right.
Yep.
Thank you anyway.
Okay.
All right, guys. Hey, thank you for the evening. Appreciate all the everyone that participated. And can I have the officers hang out just for a few minutes? And we'll see
Yeah,
you
I'll see you
guys.
guys.
Bye-bye.
All right. See you.
We'll
guys.
see you all
See
soon.
y'all. Thank
Bye.
you.
Right.
Bye from Rex.